Who's your MVP?
Skip, I'm taking my homeboy because I think he has the best narrative because Tyreek is gone. And they're going to say, well, how good is Patrick Mahomes? Because we believe Tyreek played a major role in the greatness of Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
So how good is he going to be once we've removed that? Skip, I've never seen a player, especially at the quarterback position, have his body of work over a 4-year span and be more disrespected. 4 straight AFC championship games. And people say, well, the second half against Cincy, he played phenomenal, and he did not play well. But people forget he had 42 points and 400 yards and 5 touchdowns against the Steelers in the wild card. Mm-hmm. He had 42 points, 378 yards, and 4 total touchdowns against the Bills. And no one thought there's no possible way after the Bills went up the way they did, and then Mahomes comes back, and then they go back up again with 13 seconds on the clock. They're like, well, that's over. Mahomes' run is done. And he gets them in field goal range, and we know what he did in overtime. So I think that's going to fuel him and the team because he hears all that. What quarterback is the best quarterback under 30? Given my resume, that's a question? A down year, 4,800 yards, 37 touchdowns. And plus the AFC West coming out of that division this year is going to mean something. You look at the quarterback play, Justin Herbert. I almost went Justin Herbert for MVP. But he doesn't have the narrative because it's about narratives. And Brady has a tremendous narrative, given what he retired. I mean, Noah was on the ark longer than Tom Brady retired. And then he had to deal with what he had to deal with for 11 days. So he has a very, very compelling story. Stories, Skip. We need to tell a story. It's not just good enough to score. Nobody cares about 42-35. What's the story within that 42-35?
Correct.
And I
Agreed.
believe Patrick Mahomes has one of the most compelling stories this year, given that arguably the greatest deep threat or one of the greatest deep threat, one of the greatest speed receivers in all of football took his talents to South Beach. Mahomes no longer has that. And so if he can do what I believe he's capable of doing, I think Mahomes wins his second MVP.
Okay. Before I respond to that, before I unleash upon that,
okay,
I'm going to read you a text I just got from our man Lil Wayne, who, by the way, is going to join us right here in studio tomorrow to talk about the upcoming NFL season featuring Packers and Cowboys and all of the above. But he is watching closely today, and before I read this text, I got to make sure I pronounce correctly your cognac brand.
Yeah.
Le Portier?
Le Portier.
Okay, I got it. Okay, so here we go.
Okay.
I just got this. Tell Unc, leave that Le Portier alone before the show, man. Got him tripping up there. Kirk, K-I-R-K, Kirk with 3 question marks. You just told me in our opening A block of this show that Kirk bleeping Cousins is somehow going to lead the Vikings to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
I was shell-shocked by that. I had grudging admiration from it because it's the first gutsy pick you've made in the history of this 6-year show.
It is.
It is. So I admired that, but it's just pure foolishness. It's actually laughable foolishness. So to me, Wayne sat back and just said, you've been hitting the cognac. And did you take a sip maybe before the show?
Because I was going to ask you, is he still a Packers fan now that, the cupboard is not as...
Well, we're going to find that out tomorrow because I'm not sure. I mean, he bleeds green, man.
Yes.
I mean, yes, I'm sure he's still a fan.
Because the cupboard is not as stocked as it once was.
I don't know if he's clinging to his hope quite the way he used to.
Right.
He's still got his 12. He's still got the back-to-back MVP. But the MVP, as you said, I don't even know if he has Lazard anymore.
Right. Might not have Lazard tomorrow, so.
Right? Okay. All right. Now back to your pick for MVP. I agree with you that the best single narrative for MVP would be Patrick Mahomes does not have Tyreek Hill. But because he doesn't have Tyreek Hill, he is not going to win the MVP. I think that Patrick Mahomes continues to get a little bit, and I hate to use this word, but exposed. We're in a golden age of receivers right now. We got a Cooper Kupp, who I believe helped make Matthew Stafford last year.
Okay.
We got a Devontae Adams, who I believe helped make Aaron Rodgers the back-to-back MVP, even though he had won MVPs, he won two before that, right?
Yep.
But I believe that that Aaron is going to sorely miss Devontae. And I also believe that you got a new narrative developing in Las Vegas. I believe that Derek Carr is going to be remade. He's been pretty good. I think he's going to be very good this year because he has the single best receiver in football, even though you can make a case Cooper Kupp is the best receiver.
A tremendous play caller.
Okay, and you got a tremendous play caller. But now, that's why I picked the Raiders to win your division, the AFC West. Tyreek Hill, for all the things I don't like that he says, is incredibly, spectacularly special. I've just never seen anything quite like his speed with a football tucked under his arm. It's Olympic kind of speed. It's rare speed. It is truly cheetah speed. And the cheetah is my favorite animal. Ernestine always, she gave me a T-shirt with cheetah on it because I just love to watch them run. And I love their nature because they're not just cold-blooded killers. Like they'll kill a gazelle and then they'll kind of sun themselves for a while before they take part. Right. But the point is, he is cheetah. He is literally cheetah speed.
Normally, Skip, we don't see guys with track. Normally, we don't. Track guys are not very good at football. This guy is a football player that has track speed. He legitimately has track speed. If he were to train, probably drop about 15 pounds, get down to probably like 180, 175, Skip. He could literally probably run 10 flat, maybe get under 9.
I'm pretty sure you're right, because as you well know, there's track speed and then there's track football speed with a football under your arm, and he just got the gift of it. It's just hard to do. Sometimes guys put a football under the arm and they can't do this anymore, and they're just not as fast. They feel awkward. They feel like they're handicapped because they can only swing one arm, Well, when he ran through the Buffalo Bills last year in the playoff game, made them look like they're all standing still. I've never seen anything like that. Okay, so he's been calling out the Chiefs, which should be some motivation for Patrick. But he's just saying, they wanted me gone. No, they didn't.
They didn't want to pay you $30 million.
They just didn't want to pay you what the Dolphins paid you. Well, just leave them be. Leave them alone. But he keeps stirring their pot up, and he might motivate them.
And Mahomes, what did he say, Skip? He says, I'm sorry, fantasy owners, but it's going to be a different guy. It's going to be a different guy every week.
All right, that's fine. But I can just tell you this: Juju ain't Tyreek.
No.
And Valdez-Scantling ain't Tyreek. No. And Mecole is still there, but he's just not Tyreek. No. And they drafted that kid Sky Moore, and he looks like he's pretty good, but he won't be Tyreek.
No, we're not going to have those. They won't have the explosive plays. But I think he'll probably have a better completion percentage because he's not going to push the ball down the field nearly as much, taking those shots with Tyreek. I like Juju. Juju seemed to be reinvented himself. Because Skip, he had a couple of good seasons. Now obviously he had AB on the outside of him, and the number one is Kelsey. Kelsey's still he's still the guy now. He's still there.
Okay, but I'm going to remind you, Patrick Mahomes last year had his worst year by far. And again, as you point out correctly, man, his bar is way up here. Okay, I got that. Pro Football Focus graded him the 13th best quarterback during the regular season, and he deserved to be 13th because he was down in every single category. He had career lows everywhere and career high in interceptions with 13. It's just hard to defend that, and it's hard to see him bouncing back without Kyrie. With Tyreek. Without Kyrie. With Tyreek. Maybe Kyrie would be. I don't know. But the point is, the elephant in the living room is the number 12 in Tampa, because he says, I'm coming back because I have unfinished business. He doesn't care about MVP, but it's going to be part and parcel of what's about to happen, because I promise you, Julio Jones is going to have a huge year. Because Tom Brady's going to make sure he has a huge year because he recruited him. I know for a fact he started texting Julio saying, come down here and let's do this thing together. Okay?
If Julio can stay healthy, Julio can still play.
And Russell Gage can flat out play out of the slide. So I don't think, will he be as good as Antonio was at his best? Maybe not, but he's pretty good. All right? So they don't have Gronk, and that's a great storyline for Brady because I think deep down loves it that he doesn't have Gronk, because everybody always gave Gronk some credit for Brady, right? So here we go. I believe he's going to win MVP because I believe they're going to have a great regular season. I believe he's going to get revenge twice over New Orleans, and I think they're going to have home field advantage through the playoffs. And I think he's going to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl, but that won't count, obviously, toward the MVP. But because the players voted him the best player, because he got graded the best quarterback last year, and yet Aaron won MVP, I think his narrative is the strongest, and he's going to back it up because you know and I know they are going to fling the football.
Think about it. You just said it. Pro Football Focus graded Mahomes 13th best. His peers picked him the 8th best player in the league.
Yep.
He's stewing.
Okay. Well, I'm sure he is. I don't doubt that. But can you back it up without Tyreek?
Yeah.
Listen, his footwork is so bad. He tries so many things you should not try.
Oh, you know we got that behind the back pass coming.
You shouldn't try any of this at home. And Andy Reid gives him the greenest light and doesn't scold him enough and lets him be a little spoiled brat at quarterback because Andy picked him out of nowhere in the draft. Yeah. I get that. It's like Andy's creation. But now that you don't have with Tyreek, remember what he did to Tampa Bay 2 years ago? He just throws it up.
Yeah, you're not going to have those big plays. You're not going to get a whole lot of those splash plays that you got with Reek.
Okay, well, good luck winning MVP without him.
But Tyreek, he got to understand, he ain't going to have a whole lot of those splash plays down in Miami that he got.
Well, that's a fact. But he got his bag, and you need to go sit on your bag and be quiet.
Right? That's it.
Right.
That's it.
Good.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.